How's everyone doing? Again, welcome to the Voices Gathering Live podcast show. It's your girl D from the Voices Gathering Live platform. Yes, it's been a minute, and we are here in the building getting ready to have a quick conversation, seizing the moment to talk about what's so important right now, right? And that is life purpose. I have not been on the show for a minute, and sometimes you have to take a step back, just a step back, catch your breath, get refocused, and figure out what your purpose is before you kind of try to have this conversation with other people about life purpose. Everything happening around us and to us. So I just want to take a breath, take a minute, and just talk to you guys, right? Be very transparent. That is what I speak about on this show often, is the transparency. If I can't be true and honest with you, how can I expect you to embrace what I'm saying, get involved in the conversation, and just be? So, with that being said, I want to talk with each and every one of you about life purpose. So, for a minute, I have been sitting around just rethinking, and this happens to me often, rethinking what is my life purpose? What am I trying to do? What kind of mark I'm trying to have? The impact I'm trying to have? The legacy I hope to leave behind? The substance that I hope people take in? What is it that I'm trying to give, right? So let's just start with the platform of this show. Voices Gathering Live. Oh my gosh, I've said this before. This show has been a conversation I've been having for a very long time, right? Before I knew anything about The Real and other platforms with Cocktails with Queens, all these different platforms where celebrities and non-celebrity people are getting in front of a camera, on a mic, and trying to generate content, right? It's never been my drive to generate content so that people would just follow me. I don't think my life is that important. Let's be clear. Not to other people, right? I don't think I'm that important that you would want to just, oh, she's on, let's just be involved. And I think that's what we get fed all the time through social media, through our content on television, and all these different things that's going on, is that all these people are so important. We just want to be in tune to them. I've never seen my life like that. But what I did know for sure is that what I had to say had substance, right? I didn't want to generate this show platform so that it would be something that you would be interested in just to follow me, right? Or gossip about people and put their business out there, although they're doing that on Front Street. Now, let's be very clear. I'm not saying that I'm not talking about those individuals, but I'm talking about them in a way to not generate content, but to have a conversation on a more deeper level. So I'm not here talking about an example, which we talked about, those housewives. I'm not here talking about R. Kelly and, because he's famous. But I'm talking about those individuals on a deeper level of, one, why are we intrigued by them? Two, cancel culture. Sorry. Do we really want to cancel an example, R. Kelly, because he has made some bad decisions? So again, when we talk about those individuals or people like that, it's not to generate content, but it's to generate thought, to kind of in tune with ourselves of, wait a minute, how am I viewing people? Can I relate to some of these things that they're saying or doing, or, vice versa, or all? This is what it is. So again, talking about life purpose, I wanted to be clear with opening up today's show was my life purpose has meaning. And I'm unapologetic about my life purpose. There was a time when I was apologizing for trying to find my purpose in this life. I was accepting people's behaviors, friends, family, and enemies. Let's say that. I was excusing myself so that they would not feel put down, like making excuses. Although they knew and I knew that what I was saying or what I did was right and it had value and meaning. It was supported by, let's say, evidence based or whatever it is that's happening. Or I witnessed it, so therefore I can talk about it. I was apologizing because I didn't want to upset people. But I understand in finding life purpose, you are going to upset some people. You're just going to do it. It's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it because everybody's not going to be team you. That's just not going to be the case. And you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with understanding that if you're finding your life purpose, your true life purpose, not superficial purpose, your true core life purpose, you have to be okay with people being upset with you for doing that. And let's be clear, people are doing that, being upset with you because they're not looking or in tune with their life purpose is. Something within them is resonating like, wait a minute, this person is doing this and I'm not doing this. How can they find their life purpose, but I can't find mine? We need to be okay with being a light in dark places. We need to be. That is part of finding your life purpose. It is. You need to be okay with being the bright sunshine in a dark space. Here's an example. You can be part of a team, right? Or work at an agency or in a group of social peers. And in that environment, it's dark, it's gloomy, it's down-putting, it's belittling. And here you come with all this ray of sunshine. And that ray of sunshine may show up in a way of standing up for injustice, speaking the truth, acknowledging someone's hard work, supporting someone through a process. And other people are like, well, why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. They don't need your help. Or I didn't ask you. You need to be okay with saying, you know what, I'm bringing me to the table. Therefore, I'm going to bring my sunshine to the table. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. I'm here for a reason. Listen, guys, the lifespan is short. If you look back into biblical times, people lived way past 100, 120 and things like that. If you allow your mind to believe that. Here, trust and believe. I believe it, right? The Bible is not going to lie to me. So I believe that people lived to be 120. People were giving birth in their hundreds, having children past 100. Nowadays, we would not even think that was possible. So since life is short now, people are lucky if they make it into their 70s, right? So if you are living your life for someone else or trying to find out, well, what makes them happy so that they can be okay with you trying to be happy, you are wasting your life. You are truly wasting time. I encourage you to find another environment in where your sunshine is appreciated, that people can beam off in that sunshine that you are bringing to the table, to that environment. If you got people turning their nose up every time you open your mouth, and oftentimes when that happens, you start questioning and scratching your head like, well, wait, am I out of line? Am I sure about this? You start questioning yourself, and there goes the cloud over your sunshine. You gotta be like, no, something's wrong with this. Something's truly, truly wrong with this. And it's not me, it's them. I always tell people, and I learned this from someone who is a mentor to me, my supervisor, a previous supervisor, someone who added some really true treasures to my growth process in the field that I work in. And she said to me that, you know what, it's not a you thing, it's a them thing, right? And I now use that often. Hats off to Bernice. I use that often, that you got to stop questioning yourself. There's nothing wrong about what you just said or what you're bringing. That's not a you thing, that's a them thing. And if they can accept it or appreciate it or recognize it, that what you are bringing has substance, you need not question yourself. You need to be okay with them not getting it and just move on. And I do that. And I'm sure through my life, many people have said that. Let's acknowledge another person, Keisha. Keisha, what you did. And I often reference that when I'm in a situation. And I never forget, she pulled me and just said, I got to talk to you for a second. Come here. And she did it so respectfully and pulled me to the side and says, listen, you need to stop doing that. And I had to be like, oh, wait, what did I do? She says, you have to stop apologizing when you come to the table with your professionalism, your work. When you're working with a group of people who don't work from the field you work in, and oftentimes you're know your audience, right? I'm scanning the room when I'm delivering something. I'm trying to, pay attention to who may be understanding and going with the flow, or some people who may be stuck at the curb. And I would say, let me just say, if you don't mind me saying, I'm there to say it. I'm actually there to say it. I'm there to bring it. I'm there to show up. And when she told me that in the arena, again, your audience where I work at, I no longer do that anymore. I know I was doing it because I didn't want to step on people's toes. You're the new girl on the block. Even though people don't work in the same capacity that you do, there were people who were just like, oh God, here she go. Oh, why are we hearing this? When I'm hired to do that, right? So when she told me this, I then moved forward in my position, at least with this environment, saying, won't be doing that anymore. And if it comes up unconsciously, I check it. If I recognize it right away, and the language is a little bit different. It's not aggressive, but it's very much, I'm confident in what I'm bringing to the table. Therefore, I need to bring it this way. And if you have any questions, I welcome that. But I won't be apologizing for what I'm bringing to the table. So I don't do that anymore. Again, this is learning your life purpose. If you are going back to that in this space where people aren't appreciating you, they're talking over you, they, you say this, they trumpet with something else, and you notice it's not an exchange conversation, it's a dominating conversation where they're saying that, listen, I hear you, but I don't hear you. And therefore, since I'm not paying attention or taking in what you're giving, I'm going to give you this. I was part of a couples retreat. And my partner, what we do is we provide an opportunity for couples, married or it was solely for marriage. And we're kind of tabling this thing about people who are in long-term relationships, because marriage is a certificate paper, but there are people who've been together for 30 years and live in a harmonious relationship. They just don't have a signed document paper saying that they're married. And I recognize that this may be a marriage for them, right? So we had our first couples retreat, and it was freaking awesome. It really was awesome. It was so awesome that we decided that this is going to be an annual ongoing thing. So in this space, I create, and my partner create, for people to come and show up. And when you're living with someone in this relationship, be it married or long-term relationship, you still may not even know what your life purpose is. You still may be trying to figure that out. And there goes people trying to figure out what their purpose is through other people. Getting into relationships with other people, and they don't understand what their purpose is at all. Like, you can't feed someone when you're hungry. You can't deposit into someone when you're empty. You just can't do it. There is a conflict that's going to arise. There's going to be misunderstanding. You can't communicate. My partner and I, we shared really intimate in our transparency. Again, you can't be helping other people if you're not willing to help yourself, right? So in our relationships, we were saying, listen, if I'm giving you this, you got to think about it. And it's a metaphor that I'll use when I use with my clients when I'm in a clinical setting. I tell people that when they have a difficult time listening to what is being shared, let's think about it like a sport. If you find yourself in a conversation with someone that you're trying to have purpose with, and you are, hitting the ball, i.e., tennis, to them, and immediately they hit the ball back. Well, that's what tennis is. It's not, you're thinking really quickly, spotting where it's going, but you're getting that ball back over really quick. Unlike football, when the ball is thrown by the quarterback, that person catching it is spotting where they're going so they can get close to a touchdown. So you got to think about it, but think about it quickly, but you got to get moving with it. And that's what I tell people about communicating with other people. It's not tennis. I'm hitting the ball, you're hitting it right back. Spot yourself. Think about what has just been given to you and then figure out where you're going with that information. And that, I think, help people understand their purpose in a conversation. What is the purpose of the conversation? What are we here to talk about? What am I hoping to gain through this conversation? There's people that walk into conversations and truly don't even care to walk out with anything. They have no inkling, desire to want to walk away with anything. I've been there. I have been there. When I'm hurt, I'm showing up in respect of that situation. But all I know is I'm hurting. Therefore, I can't hear you. And we got to figure out that. We have to figure it out. We can't be heard, or the person can't hear us unless we show up. And if we're going to show up, we need to show up with purpose. And that purpose needs to enhance us as well as those around us. See, first you and then everybody else. I know people say, oh, you need to be considerate about other people. You need to think about other people and what they need, right? And yeah, we need to think about that, but we need to think about it in a way that, first, if I'm not showing up for me, if I'm not understanding what I need, if I'm not putting my own mask on first, then I'm no good to you and what you're saying. Not at all. So I'm not going to ask you to allow me to put my mask on first, i.e. my oxygen mask, i.e. my purpose mask. I'm going to put it on and be unapologetic about it and show up for what it is I need to show up for. Be it you, the situation, whatever it is. Now I can hear you. Now I can spot this conversation, get what you're giving, and then also go where I need to go with it. We have to understand that life is about understanding who we are, what we are, where we're going, and what we need. If we don't understand that, you don't understand life purpose. We got parents trying to raise children to have a full understanding of what their life purpose is. Excuse me. So how can we do that when you don't understand yours? See, children grow in an environment not thriving, just existing, and barely, in an environment that's already toxic before they got into that environment. And now they're growing up and you have demands on them. You demand them to get an education, but you didn't get an education. You demand them to respect themselves and stop sleeping or dating everybody, but you're doing the same. You are expecting them to listen to what's being said and stop talking back, but you won't do it. Wait, what? How can they? Children learn from their environment. You don't believe me? Look at it this way. Where you see a lot of crime, and I'm not saying crime doesn't happen everywhere, because it absolutely does. But the environment in which that individual is in, if the environment is full of behaviors indicative of selling drugs, using drugs, and now you are saying, I didn't raise you that way. But the environment in which that individual lives in go to school, socialize in. That environment is of that environment. The person is probably going to pick up some of those behaviors, especially if you're not on top of it, if you're not creating another environment, safe place for them to actually learn, experience, cultivate that inner thing in them. They're going to pick up some of the things around them. I, in my profession, have ran into many people who have said that I grew up around gang banging. I grew up around people using drugs, including my parents. I grew up seeing people my dad beat my mom. I grew up watching my mom disrespect my sister. I grew up in this environment. And now we're looking at these individuals, these young people saying, why are you doing this? Well, we need to take a look back at the environment in which they grew up at and stop so much blaming them, but help them now create a new life purpose. Because truth be told, you don't have to be what you were. You can be something totally different. We all make mistakes. That is what life is. Life happens. We make those mistakes. We make them willingly. We walk guilty, walk into a situation no, I should have not walked into. And then when you walk into it, while you're in it, sometimes it's okay, it feels great, it doesn't bother you. And then the next time you come out of it, you're like, wait a minute, this is not good. This is not good. I don't like what I just walked through. It's life. We need to learn how to forgive ourselves and not be stuck in the situation of mistakes we made. That's not living life. That's totally living with regrets. And we have many of them, but we can't be paralyzed by them. We must understand that there is a reason why we were created. And if you're coming from a spiritual place, I'm going to go there for a second. I definitely believe that there is a higher power. I believe there is a God and there is a Jesus Christ. I do believe that, right? I do. And if this offends you, I'm not sorry. Don't get stuck on that. It's okay. Taking the rest of the other stuff. But I do believe that there was someone before me that came to pave the way. Because living in an imperfect world, you're going to make mistakes. There's no way you cannot make mistakes living in an imperfect world. The only way you're going to live in not make any mistakes and be perfect is living in a perfect world. And we don't live in that space. We just don't. It would be nice, but we don't. But there's an opportunity to learn from the mistakes we make. There's an opportunity to get up, brush yourself off, repent, meditate, pray, do whatever it is that you do and get back on track. And there's times I have to remind myself, girl, get it together. Because the enemy, the whatever you want to call this situation, that devil, wants you to stay paralyzed so that you feel that there is no hope. There's no meaning. There's no purpose. That's what he wants. He definitely wants that. And I don't choose to give it to him. So I have to figure out how to get my life purpose in order, understand what it is I need to understand, and brush myself off and get going. My best friend, I've been friends with her. You've seen her on the show. Shout out to Rhonda. My best friend. We've been best friends since we were 12, 13 years old, right? That's a long time. And in that relationship, we have had some valleys. We have where we hurt each other, said things to each other that were hurtful or not respected. And let me hope I don't lose my track, my thoughts. I just thought about when hurting someone, and I said we both hurt each other. There's been times where you've hurt, this person said this, and you said that, and you feel that what they said was so cutthroat that you were just like, what? Why would you say such thing? And that hurt you, and you're thinking that what you're saying to the person is not that great as if what they said to you. But it's all hurtful. So I say that all to say that there's not one hurt stronger than the other. Hurt is just hurt. Pain is pain. We can measure it on a measuring scale, but the bottom line is you're hurt. So through our relationship, over those years, since 12 and 13 years old, we said things, didn't talk to each other for periods of time, and then we'll come back, and I am one to want to talk about it. To the day, right now, I'm one that we need to have a conversation about this. Now, we may not be able to have the conversation right away, but we need to talk. And we need to be authentic and transparent in the process, because there's some things I need to say, and maybe there's some things you need to say. So, we've done that throughout the years. And fast forward, I recently got to spend some time with her, which was so overdue. So overdue. Oh boy, was it so much fun. I'm saying this, you got to feed what brings you happiness, what brings you peace. You got to feed it. And you have to surround yourself around people who will feed that as well, who recognize that, wait a minute, I need to feed this to my children, my wife, my husband, my employer, my team, my friends. I need to feed it. I need to give it something. If you're not cultivating it, if you're not seasoning it, if you're not giving it what it needs, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. Things are going to creep up in there and make its mark in there that don't belong there. You got to feed it. So I got an opportunity to feed that with my friend, and it was so good. It was to celebrate my birthday. Shout out to my goddaughter, my bonus godson. Shout out to my goddaughter's boyfriend, and my best friend for creating an opportunity for me to just remember that you have to take time for you. So thank you. And all that is to say, you have to be in an environment that feeds your purpose in life. Be unapologetic about standing on purpose. Recognize when someone is not giving you that, and be okay with cutting that and them off, right? I don't care if it's your family. You have to cut some family off. You just have to. It could be from your loins. You can just birth that person. But if that person isn't feeding your purpose, or the person who gave you life isn't feeding your purpose, I'm telling you, it's okay to remove yourself from that toxic environment, or you will spend your time thinking about, what can I do? What did I say? How can I do? What should I do? Listen, give it some thought, but don't get lost in the thought. Trust me, give it some thought, but don't be lost. Because sometimes people are over there living their life while you over here stressing your life. Been there, guilty, done it, where I've been like, what do I do? What do I say? How can I get them? I miss them. I love them. I'm dealing with that right now in my family situation. What can you do? I've learned through my faith that if I'm going to my higher power saying, listen, I made mistakes again, here I go. I walked into a situation willingly, and I know I should have not gone there, and I need forgiveness for that thing. And if I'm authentic, honest, seeking, confessing, all those things you need to do to get closer and being forgiven, I had to go and seek that forgiveness, right? First step. And then I believe my higher calling power is extending the olive branch and saying, you're forgiven. I searched your heart. I see that you are true and honest. I see that you're trying. You're forgiving. Now forgive yourself and move on. Now, that situation metaphor is with a situation in my family. If I am saying, Let's have a conversation. Listen, there's been times that maybe someone wanted to talk to me and I wasn't ready to talk to them. So I went silent. That silence is, for me, is to take a moment, not a lifetime, because a lifetime isn't promised to you, to think about what are you going to say when you show up and what it is that you need when you get there. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with taking a pause. But when you take a pause beyond a certain period of time, and everybody's time is different, for me, if I'm going weeks without having a conversation, something is drastically wrong. Drastically wrong. Wrong. And I need to figure out what's going on. This is a lot of time. I think the more time you take, the more pain you're in, maybe. So therefore, you need more time. But I have a situation within my family, transparency, and it's with the same individuals. And we go years without talking. Now, that's not because I gone years. Because remember, I said, you may need to take a week. Let's stretch it, maybe a week or two, to think about what do I need to say? What do I need to do? What is it that I need when I get there? And what I want them to know or hear. Not going there to fight. The fight has already been done through the silence. But showing up, but they won't show up, extending the olive branch to them, and they're like, I'm not ready. You have to be okay with respecting that's where they are. And you have to be okay with walking away. Listen, be clear. It's not that it doesn't hurt. Cutting off a relationship that's close to you, it's hurtful. I don't care even if you're trying to say that it's not. It's hurtful. It hurts. You have invested in that relationship, be it your friendship, by birth, whatever it is. You invested in it. Now it's no longer. It hurts. But you have to be okay with saying, it hurts, but I don't want to continue to hurt on that level. So I have to respect where they are or that person is and walk away and let it be what it is. And know in your heart that you've done your part. This is all about life purpose. My purpose in my relationship with family, my purpose in relationships with my friends, my purpose with relationships with people I work with, whatever it is, whoever they are. It's important for me to know that my life purpose matters. And it has to matter in the environment in which I'm putting myself in. And I'm encouraging each of you who watch this podcast that you think about this. Don't just not think about it. I mean, really think about what I'm saying. And maybe something within you is going to resonate and you're going to think about, wait a minute, this is something I've been in, or this is something I need. And yeah, you know what? I matter. And you know what? I'm going to be unapologetic about it. I'm not going to be nasty about it, but unapologetic about it. And I'm going to figure out my life purpose. I'm going to put on my mask first, get my oxygen going good for me. I'm going to show up for me and expect you to show up for me. And if you aren't able to do that, I'm going to respect that and move to a space where I can thrive in. It's okay, people. It's okay. I'm hoping that you guys found this to be interesting, well worth considering. Thinking about some of the things I've been saying to you. Remember, it's all about real talk. It's all about real talk. I'm just going to keep it real. Some people don't like that, but guess what? Remember what I said about that whole thing? Unapologetic. Real talk. Also, I want you to remember that you can always follow us here. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Voices Gathering Live, please. This is how the show grows. I know some of you may be watching the show and love your, dare I say, ratchet TV. But your television shows or your YouTube channels and stuff like that or whatever. And yeah, good. But I'm asking that you give this show a chance. So subscribe to the channel. Be a part of the conversation. I'm telling you, I love to create an open forum where people can talk and be a part of this conversation. It's not just me talking to you, it's you being involved in the conversation. So therefore, first and foremost, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. Make sure you are subscribed to this platform and that you're getting alerts on all your devices so that when the show is live or I've uploaded a show, you can get involved in the comments by posting a comment and sharing. Please, please share. Share it to somebody that you like. Oh, I think they should hear this. Oh, they said something good. Share it. Don't be selfish. Don't be hating. Dare I say that too? Give the show a chance. I'm telling you, it will be worth the while. And as always, I like to create a question and answer platform here. So again, that's where the comments are. You can definitely post your comments there and I'm going to answer them. I'll get the notification when you post something. Somebody just posts something there. I'm going to go back and I'm going to answer it. You can always follow this show. Again, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And look, it's not gonna hurt you if you don't do that, right? It's not going to hurt you at all. Help a sister out by doing that for me. And then also listen, if you are a new subscriber and someone told you about the show, drop their name. I want to shout them out on the platform, giving them a thank you for always considering the show and sharing it with their people on their platforms. I truly would appreciate it. Listen, I will be here, so I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to be here. I was doing that before. The show was on Tuesdays and Fridays. Then it went from Tuesday to Friday. Then it went from Tuesday, Fridays, and then we moved it to Sundays, which was cocktail hour. Cocktail doesn't mean just drinks, guys. It could just cocktail hours. Also, I mean alcoholic drinks. It could mean whatever you're drinking. So I've tried a number of things. So right now, today, I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to be back on. I'm going to see if you're going to show up when you get the notification. And if you don't show up live when I'm live on the show, I'm going to see if you'll come back and watch the show and drop some comments. Look, I don't know you're here unless you are liking, giving me a thumbs up. If you don't like what I'm saying, I'm okay with you giving it a thumbs down. But you have to post a comment to your thumbs up or thumbs down. Say something or I won't know you were here. Many people are telling me, I saw the show. I'm like, okay, let me count the people who told me they saw the show compared to the likes or dislikes. It's not adding up. So do me a favor. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Always post a comment. Always like, hopefully, or don't like. Got to keep saying that. And share. Until next time, thank you so much. And remember, your life purpose matter. Be unapologetic about it and go find it. Until next time, I will see you then. Bye.